So recently we discovered the mech you unlock in Genesis Part 2 can literally pick up anything. Unlocked by defeating the boss on any difficulty, the mech seems to have a limitless amount of things you can do with this great new addition to ARK Survival Evolved. So let's explore exactly what it can do and what can it actually pick up. You're right kids, it's Ross Clark, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So the first thing to know about the mech, it's got a wonderful leap that lands into a superhero landing that never gets old. And the superhero jump goes far. If you look right up as high as you can, look at that. That's it gives you a very handy guide to tell you where it's going to go. When released, that's a real big scale. Look at that. So a good thing to note, the mech requires elements to function. If you don't, it will collapse and look like it's having a good sit down. And once your element's back in, it's good to go. Now you'll immediately know it's got 3 different functions. It's got a carry mode, it's got a storage mode, and a combat mode that you can cycle through. Combat mode, it says it on the tin. It's got a punch. And punch everything to Kingdom Come. It can also harvest as well. It can also run pretty quick. And it can jump whilst running. You're not locked to jumping in place. You can also punch mid-air. And it really is quite mobile. You can strafe and turn at the same time. It's got a ground pound as well, which also harvests too. And that's all it can do in combat mode, but it seems to hit pretty hard at level 1. And the Stego can't pin it. Now, on official, you can only spawn a level 1, but can you spawn a better quality on unofficial or single player? So on unofficial and single player, you can have an ascendant version, of course, very expensive to make. And placing this down, it's still coming out as level 1, but if we compare the stats to its predecessor, the original mech in primitive form has 2k health, and so does the Ascendant version. The primitive version does 381 damage per second with its punch, and there's exactly the same apparently with its ground pound. The Ascendant version does exactly the same. So it appears you aren't getting anything better for having an Ascendant version. Can we damage stuff? There you go. The mech can damage tech. It can't damage dedicated storage for some reason. But it can definitely damage metal. So the mech is actually a pretty good way to take down a tech Jenny. It's taking it down at a pretty good rate. Which I guess is worth noting isn't as powerful as the original Extinction mech. As you can see, 836, 731, yeah. The OG mech is still the one for DPS. So you do have the option to paint it if you want to, and it does have regions that you can just select to make it any colour that you want. But of course, there are so many more different things you can do. We've got a carry mode and a storage mode. But before we look into that and we get into the nitty-gritty test, there's also of course a toggle RTS mode. By a click of the button, you then go into an overhead view, which you can zoom out a little bit, not a lot, but you can then move the mouse around and issue orders to your creatures. Ah, there is a range. There is a range and how far you can actually look, which it's not bad, but it's not that far either. So we've got a bunch of creatures around us and we can move around, click on all of them, there we go. And even though they're lower than where I am, I can still select them as long as I can see them. And even if I come out of RTS mode and go back into it, it will still be controlling the same creature I was controlling before. If I want to select multiple, I drag and drop, and it actually selects creatures that I can't even see. So as long as you can see it from a vertical perspective, you can select it. I don't even know what creatures are down there. It was right click on a creature to follow them. There's the Astradelphuses that were a bit lower. However, of course, this is the only issue now. With you being vertically challenged, you can't tell these creatures to go any higher or lower. And you can also only right click on what you can visibly see on your level of terrain, it seems. So we've encountered a bit of auto breeding issues, so let's see what happens when we order all these to kill creatures. So we'll not do that. We'll hold that, we'll drag and drop, and then we're going to tell them all to kill. There we go. And then we're having a little May wing off. Well, that's not gone very well. Should we pull in the wyvern to help? There we go. Do your thing, mate. Great. Let's pull in the Shadow Mane. Let's see what the Shadow Mane can do. Go on. Do your thing, Shadow Mane. There we go. Something. And of course, there's two other modes. Carry mode and storage mode. Now, storage mode pretty much picks up whatever you want and puts it in the mech's inventory. What I'm interested to see though is, will it take what's in the vault as well? As I've put some stuff inside this vault. No. I didn't think that would work, but that's a good test to find out. There we go. Now, of course, as you saw in the intro, we picked up one of these. Carry mode will allow you to pick up seemingly practically anything, but I've got a few things here that I want to test, so let's put that back down. Which is just insane. Can we pick up a behemoth gate? No. Okay. It has limitations. That's good to know. And interestingly, you can't pick up foundations. I assumed you could. Yep. We can pick up a TP if you want. If you want to replace your TP. A skiff. Can you pick up a skiff? No. A transmitter you can pick up. Now, as you can see, I've got it turned on. Which it now is turned off. Can I use the transmitter whilst it's turned on? No. So whenever you pick one up, it turns itself off. That was kind of expected. So I think I know what's going to happen here. I wanted to see, can you pick up a generator whilst it's on? No. Yeah. So the minute you pick it up, it turns itself off. See if it powers a turret. No. More importantly, it's still got what's in its inventory after I've moved it as well. Meaning, in my opinion, that has some strategic advantage. That in the heat of a fight, in a PvP battle, you could keep pushing a generator closer and closer to an enemy's base and really making a good push. Replicator. Replicators can also be picked up. It's just ridiculous. But what happens if I cryo the EXO-MEK? So, what's going to happen to the replicator? I'm assuming it's going to just... Yeah, we've lost the replicator. Damn. Turrets can be picked up and moved around if you want them to. No problem. But a force field and a dedicated storage box. What I really wanted to see was, can you pick up a force field whilst it's turned on? And I know, if you could, that would have been incredibly overpowered. But you can't. You can't do it. Can I now pick up this force field? I can. So a force field can be picked up and moved when it's turned off. And finally, dedicated storage. No. You can't pick up dedicated storage. However, because I saw a great tactical advantage with this in PvP, let's put all the bullets we can into a vault. Now, in the heat of a fight, and you've got to push more stuff up, you need more ammo for your fob. You need more... Oh. So there's a thing. Be very careful. Oh, wow. Okay. Even though it lost its power whilst it was carrying something, it didn't lose it. And there we go. We've now got a vault of bullets that we can carry. And now we can keep pushing our fob closer and closer towards where it needs to be. Yeah, we can start just, picking all our stuff up as well. If you want to move your fob a bit closer. There we go. Now I've just picked up everything I need. Come on, lads, let's go and move our fob closer to the base. It's all in the inventory of the mech. Set up the new fob. Last thing to check, can we carry vacuum compartments? No. You can put them in storage mode though. And I'm assuming what's going to happen to the bed and vault that's in this one. Oh, wow. So anything within a vacuum compartment, when you pull that in, comes with it. Yeah, so I pulled in the bed and the vault that was in the vacuum compartment when I pulled in that particular vacuum compartment as well. Wow. Oh, and if you're wondering, yeah, the mech can run and jump whilst it's carrying anything, which is just insane. Look at that, man. You've now got the ability to pick up almost anything you want with this mech, saving you valuable resources, especially in the case of a cloner or replicator that you want to move somewhere. The mech is really going to redefine ARK, and you can see without question you want one of these. So get on it, Gamma Boss on Genesis Part 2, that's all you need to unlock one. And you've just unlocked one of the greatest things in ARK Survival Evolved. I hope you enjoyed this test with the mech. Comment below if you did. My name is Ross Clark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.